So today we're going to be converting this electric bike into one with a regenerative braking system. So let's get straight into it. Now we're going to remove these 6 bolts and lift the motor out. Let's proceed. After removing these 6 bolts, you're going to need to remove everything on the other side, all these little bolts here as well. Nuts, sorry. Be careful, make a note of what order they went in when they fitted on originally, because you're going to need to refit them in the same order. Many electric bikes don't have a round axle, they actually have like a slot on it. So one trick, if you need to hold it, is just put a spanner on that like that, and it'll just fit perfectly. That'll allow you to get a grip on the other bolts. So let's give that a try now. There we go, that's done that. So I'll just hold that in and screw that.
So the plan is to weld the clutch together, but that involves a lot of electricity.
And the motor just slides straight out. As you can see, it's in perfect condition, but it has a lot of expensive, valuable electronics in there, and I don't want massive surges of electric energy running through something that has such delicate electronics near it. So instead, I'm going to remove this and work on it independently. That way it can't damage any of the electric. So the first step is going to be to remove this little pin here. I don't actually know what they call these things. But so once you remove the motor, you're going to want to put one of these puller tools on. These don't cost much on eBay. And then you've just basically got to undo it and lift it out. I'll show you how now. So we're going to weld these two together. Let's jump right to it. So next you want to make sure that you've cleaned it properly. So get that in there nice and deep. Well, there we are. Still hot. So our goal now is to clear away as much of this slag as we can get rid of, as that's definitely not going to do very well in a gearbox. So let's just use the hammer and try and clear that away and brush it off. I'll let it cool a little bit first. Ooh, lordy, that's hot.
Okay, and here we have it welded up and cleaned. It does take a very thorough clean. Anything that you fail to clean, the little bits of metal will just get lodged into the plastic gears. They'll absorb it, which will damage them. But these only cost about $5 to replace, so you can actually get these for pretty cheap. But obviously you want it to be as clean as possible because you don't want to be replacing them. So now we're going to put it back onto the wheel, give it some fresh grease, and see how it all runs. This will now allow the bike to do regenerative braking. So to reattach it, you look for the slot there, line it up with the spot there, as you can see just there. Oh, sorry about that. And put them both together. Now, being plastic, you obviously don't want to force it. Let's see. Okay, then that should do. Each of the gears has to fit onto the wheel. Let's get this from a different angle. Okay, so it was at this point that things really started to go wrong for me. I didn't know at the time, but the welding had changed the size of the clutch. It was still wide enough to be hammered halfway on, but not all of the way. So when I tried to hammer it, I really used a lot of force, so now it can't be removed. So welding basically destroyed the clutch. Then putting it on, hammering it onto the axle so hard as was necessary, ended up destroying the, well, not destroying the motor, but disabling it. There's no way I can do anything with it right now. So yeah, the whole system's broke, and this is basically part of the realities that you're going to experience as you try to work on your bike. Sometimes you'll break things. I'm going to need an angle grinder to remove this this clutch. I'll have to destroy it. Hopefully I can preserve the motor, because that was still okay. Hopefully I can look after everything else, but it looks like the clutch now will have to be angle grinded off. So yeah, part 2. Sorry about this, I'm going to have to order another clutch, which should take a month or 2 to arrive. And then I'll try and get that video made of part 2 when we actually get this thing done properly. Until then, my apologies. Yeah, there's nothing I can do at the moment, but if you do subscribe and hit the notifications bell, then when the new video comes through, that'll hit your it'll hit your inbox, and you'll be able to have a look and see how it ended up. But for now, I didn't know it at the time, but basically the whole thing was a failure. At the same time, you've learned a lesson today, which is when you work on your bike, get ready for something to go wrong, because it could. You know, this is the reality of building and repairing bikes. Sometimes something goes wrong, and you're going to need a spare part, and a spare part with the pandemic, you know, it can take a month or 2 to come through. So just be careful working on your own bike. Oh yeah, the legal disclaimer. This is all for entertainment. Do not try this at home. You know the rest. Always wear safety goggles, but don't try this at home. So yeah, if this has been helpful, please do consider leaving a thumbs up, and you know, a like, and subscribing if you want to see part 2 when we finally get around to doing that. And yeah, be careful when working on your own bike. Take care.